A little over 2 years ago, Nintendo first introduced us to their new form of unlockable content packed in addictive little physical collectibles that we now know of as Amiibos. And more than any other franchise, there are a lot of them for Zelda. With just Link alone, there are 10 different Link Amiibos. So I thought, let's take a look at all of them and rank them from worst to best. Kicking things off at the bottom, number 10 is the original Super Smash Bros. Link based on Twilight Princess. Now, it's not this guy's fault. This is actually one of the original Amiibo made in a set of 12, and it just shows, because the quality's improved over time. Now, some of the things that are off-putting about this one, first off, the face is really pale. I mean, Twilight Princess Link is supposed to be a little pale. The game is definitely desaturated, but you'll actually notice that it's because it matches the same color as his pants to cut down on costs, which is really weird once you actually start noticing that. Also, the support stand, I get that it's supposed to be like a golden color because that's associated with Zelda a lot, but whosever idea it was to use this color for a stand, no, not a good idea.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
For number 9, we go from the original Link Amiibo to one of the most recent ones with Skyward Sword. Now, I'll be honest, part of the reason for the low ranking is because this guy is tied to what is probably the worst 3D Zelda game, and that just kind of screws his chances from the outset. But even then, just looking at the design, I'm just not a huge fan. A lot of them are sword and shield wielding, and there's nothing unique about this pose that makes it interesting to me. Also, the face. All the Link Amiibos are either happy or kind of stoic. This one's trying to be kind of determined or angry, and even looks a little bit like he's doing kind of a duck face. It's not a good look. Although I do appreciate the fact that they learned their lesson from the first Link Amiibo, and instead of that yellow, we at least have clear supports. For number 8, we have the Ocarina of Time Link. I say Ocarina, but is it Ocarina?
I have no idea. No, it's Ock.
Is it Ock?
Oak this time.
Oh, did I say Oak this time? But it is Ocarina though? Okay. Then for number 8, we have the Ocarina of Time Link. Now, unlike Skyward Sword, I actually am a big fan of Ocarina of Time, so that's not why I'm hating on this one. It's just that, to be honest, I think it's kind of a boring design. I mean, I understand the fact that it's supposed to be based on the concept art from way back when, but I just don't think it translates well to a figure in this situation. It's not something that I hate, it's not something that's terrible, it's just not very good or stand out to me either. Also, it's kind of hard to tell that he's actually playing the ocarina from like a distance. It almost looks like he's eating a taco. Coming in at number 7 is Horse Rider Link from Breath of the Wild. Now this one's kind of a weird one for me to rank because at first glance, I actually kind of like it. I think there's some good attention to detail. I like that you have like the bundle packs and the shield, the way your cape is flowing, but there's a couple things about it that kind of ruined the whole thing for me. First off, the fact that compared to the other Link Amiibos, he's kind of dwarfed in comparison. It's like a little tiny Link riding a tiny horse. More importantly, once you actually take a look at this thing closer, Link doesn't have a face. Then for number 6, we're going back to an older Amiibo design with the Super Smash Bros. Toon Link. Now, part of the reason why this one gets a bit of a free pass compared to the other Smash Bros. Link is that Wind Waker is a much simpler, cartoony art style that's a lot easier to do on the cheap, so it just works a lot better. And what details this one does have are still really good. I like the shield design, I like the little, detail on the sword, the sheath. Overall, solid Amiibo. For number 5, we have another kind of weird one to rank, and that's the 8-bit Link based on the original Legend of Zelda. Now, the reason why is because if we're just talking pure aesthetics, like how things look, it's not exactly the most appealing design. I mean, the blocky look is actually kind of weird once you see it in person. Although I do really appreciate the attention to detail, keeping it closer with the original Zelda design where he actually has the cross on the shield instead of the Hyrule symbol. But the reason why this guy gets a little extra boost is just the novelty of it. I mean, if you're just going to own a single Link Amiibo or even just a small set of them, this guy is going to be one of the ones you want to grab because of the idea of having 8-bit original Link. Number 4, we are going back to Wind Waker, but this time it's the 20th anniversary design. Now, some of the arguments here are the same as last time because Wind Waker is a simpler, more cartoony art style. It is easier to translate into a good-looking figure, but even then, if you hold this guy up side by side with the other Wind Waker Link, there is quite a bit more detail here, especially going on with the hair. I also just like the overall pose and design of this one more. A lot of the other Links are sword and shield ready to fight. This one, on the other hand, is showcasing the actual Wind Waker, and you can actually see how his hair, his cap, everything is blowing in the direction that he's directing the wind in.
What are all those heads?
Now it's time for our top 3, starting with the 20th anniversary Twilight Princess Link design. Now, to be honest, part of the reason why this guy gets to rank so high is because we have an uglier, worse version of him to directly compare to, and you can really see how the detail in Amiibos have gotten better over the past couple of years. Just looking at the face detail, the way the hair is molded, even just all the little etchings and grooves on the shield, the armlets, the sheath, there's just a lot going on that showcases how Amiibos have gotten better. The posing in the stance isn't my favorite, but just looking at the overall design and quality of this really makes it one of the better Link Amiibos out there. Coming in at second place, and was honestly a very close contender to our #1 top spot, is the Majora's Mask Link Amiibo. Now, to kind of continue a point from last time, this is one of the most recent Amiibo designs, so there's a lot more detail going on here, but what makes it really cool and special is the fact that this particular Link doesn't need a lot of detailing. There isn't exactly a whole lot of stuff to keep track of here, and yet what detail we have is very fine. I mean, even just looking at the hair, it's not just a matter of having it pointed in different directions, but you can actually make out some of the individual hair threads, which is really cool. We also have not one, but two faces to get detail out of, both Link's and the mask he's holding. Also, this is the only Link Amiibo we have that's based on young Link, which just makes it especially really awesome. This leaves at our #1 top spot, the Breath of the Wild Archer Link Amiibo. Now, being based on the most recent Legend of Zelda game, there is a lot going on in this Amiibo, but there's no detail being lost. I mean, this guy is completely decked out. You've got sword and shield, bow and arrow, quiver, even the little tablet that he uses in the game, but all the detailing looks great. I also gotta say that while initially I was kind of against the idea of changing his tunic color from green to blue, this blue is just way more aesthetically pleasing compared to the sea of green and all the other Link Amiibos. What really sells this design though is the fact that while we have some other Link Amiibos with interesting stances, they all have to rely on some kind of stand or little support system, whereas this guy actually incorporates it into the design using this dust cloud, which just makes this truly awesome looking Amiibo. So that is how I rank all 10 different Link Amiibos. I'm sorry, Wolf Link fans, this was a human-only rank list. Let me know what you guys think. Which ones do you love? Which ones do you hate? What's your top 3? Give me the whole list of 10, whatever. Let me know down below in the comments, and I will see you guys later.